Two bros chilling in the hot tub.
You the twos and we the ones? Well, you are the biggest two of them all, my dog. That's what you are. You are a giant number two.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Two Bros Podcast. As always, I am Bryce, and I am joined by...
I am an anxious Packers fan, Matt.
Yeah,
And I am joined by, see if we can get him in the camera, Super Kitty.
Oh, hello, Super Kitty. My cats are somewhere else, but yeah.
You always have a furry friend hopping in, so it was my turn.
So, before we get started, I just want to say something because there has been a lot, and I mean a lot of death threats and wishing the worst on people because Tyler Loop missed the game-winning kick that would have sent them to the playoffs. I get it. Well, no, I don't get it. I get that you're mad that your team didn't make the playoffs because your kicker missed the field goal. Yes, you can be mad. You can call him out for missing the field goal. But what you cannot do as a human being, because somebody missed a kick, to go and give death threats to not just Tyler Loop, but Tyler Loop's family, Tyler Loop's fiance. I'm seeing comments that are saying, I hope you get divorced after this. I hope everything bad happens to you. And people, calm down. It is just football. That's all I have to say. It's just football. It is not that serious. Yes, we are talking football right now, but guess what? If football were to go away for either one of us, it wouldn't be the end of the world because this is just a sport at the end of the day.
Life fully moves on.
Yeah, it does. And if you don't think it does, then you need to get some help because at the end of the day, it's just a game that you want.
It's so
that you don't even play. It's not even your life. You are not making money to play football.
Even if you were, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
This thing, these, like, I kind of like watched a little bit of like some of the interviews, and you should have seen how the guys were rallying around him. They were like, "Hey, he's a rookie. It's not his fault." Like talking about how veteran kickers have come out and said, "Don't clown."
Chris Boswell missed the kick, missed the extra point.
Veteran
that would have put them up by 3 the drive
defended
before.
him. Like some of the greatest to ever do it. I saw Mason Crosby did an interview talking about how great of a kicker Loop is and how he's a really likable guy. The fact that people are coming out here and giving death threats because he missed a kick for a team you'll never play for that doesn't even know you exist outside the money you give them. Bro.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I wish Justin Tucker were back."
No, you don't.
Chill.
First off, you cannot condone a person like that. I don't care. Talent should not transcend actions.
Yeah.
There's a reason people
especially
hate
actions like that.
There's
especially actions like that.
And there's a reason people hate Karl Malone. There's a reason people hate Lawrence Taylor. Like when you do disgusting things, your talent does not transcend it. You're not an okay because you're an amazing football or basketball player.
That's fair. Although Lawrence Taylor's the GOAT defensive player.
Doesn't matter. You can't condone that.
Oh, I don't. But he's the GOAT. So. Okay, now we're going to move on to Week 18. Some coaching moves because yesterday was Black Monday, and apparently today is Black Tuesday. So we have got
might be a whole blackout week, to be honest.
I know we're gonna get coaches fired the whole week.
But we're also gonna have to speed run through these, and like we'll mention them, but only kind of go in depth on the important ones.
Okay,
so we are running a little low on time.
The first one is really huge because this happened like 20 minutes ago, in which the Baltimore Ravens fired John Harbaugh after 17 seasons and a 180-113 record, including a Super Bowl victory in Super Bowl 47. In 2012, he has 8 road playoff victories, which is the most by any head coach in NFL history. And he only has 3 losing seasons as a head coach. Do you think the Ravens made a mistake?
100%. He is arguably the greatest coach in their history.
He is.
To fire him after, first off, your quarterback was injured for most of the season. Your defense took a massive hit. You had a really awful DC. And then once again, an unlucky kick. It's
Uh-huh.
absolutely stupid. And I'm sorry, the Ravens have the chance to do the funniest thing in the world. I'm sorry, the Browns have the chance to do the funniest thing in the world here. If the
And
Browns should sign John Harbaugh.
could you imagine if Kevin Stefanski goes to
I
Baltimore
literally
and
walking into my room, I mentioned, I was like, what if Stefanski gets signed by Baltimore?
what if they just swap? That
I
would be
think the
the
Browns
funniest
should do
thing
it.
in the
I think the
world.
Browns should sign John Harbaugh, and I think Harbaugh's petty enough. I think he would do it.
Hmm. Oh
Or
yeah.
what if he says, let's just screw it and goes and ends up being like a coordinator for his brother?
Well, there's a potential there's a potential super petty one that we're going to talk about later if that actually happens. Could happen. We'll see. But next, the Lions fired their offensive coordinator John Morton after just one season. This would makes zero sense. But
I
what are
actually
your
think it makes a
takeaways
lot of
on it?
sense. If you look at how bad this offense was compared to last year with Ben Johnson, it's not like they were injured. It's not like they were. What are you doing? Three? What are you holding up three
They
for?
were a top three offense in the league.
Yes, but Bryce, their offense held them back on numerous occasions. Their offense was stale,
Their
and their offense
defense
fell
was so
apart.
bad.
I'm sorry. I think it made a lot of sense. What you do is you cut ties, you restart, and you bring
Hello,
in
you
your
cut out.
top. Hello,
You cut out. Okay, there
can you
you
hear
go.
me?
You're good.
Am I here?
Yeah, I can
You
hear you.
bring
You're
in
good.
you bring in your top offensive weapons, and you have them sit down with your head coach, and they pick out a coordinator that works for them.
I don't know. I think that this team's problem was not and is not their offense. Their problem was the fact that they had all these injuries and their defense was worse than we have seen the Reliance defense be in quite some time. I don't I don't really think that this is that it wasn't the smart move, but what oh well. Next, we have this is the one that could get petty because Mike Tomlin is considering stepping away from head coaching for at least the 2026 season and be an analyst with the hopes of coaching again in 2027. You want to talk about petty? John Harbaugh going to the Steelers would be all time petty.
Honestly, that'd be really funny.
That would they would crucify his existence ever in Baltimore. They would eliminate him existing ever in Baltimore Ravens history if he were to do that. Considering he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, nah, he's like beloved. He is super beloved by this Ravens fan base, and if he were to ever do that, although he did get a lot of hate the last few years from people saying that he needs to go, I've been saying that he needs to go for that they should have contemplated firing him, and I see that, but I didn't think it would ever happen, and I thought that they would. This is a move that shouldn't have happened. But Mike Tomlin's a guy that I think should have been gone a long time ago.
Mike Tomlin's a guy who may benefit from a change of scenery. I think he got a little content with the Steelers. And once again, they're still in the playoffs. I don't foresee them winning their game, but they're in the playoffs.
Next, we have this is another big one because this is a guy who's not going to be employed for long. Browns fire head coach Kevin Stefanski after 6 seasons and a 45-56 record. He is a two-time coach of the year and has already been inquired by teams as a potential coach for coach needy teams. What is your takeaway from this?
I very much see him getting a job by the end of February.
I see him getting a job by
I'm sorry, end of
January
January.
10th. I see him getting a job by January 10th.
I think he'll probably end up in New York. I think the Giants will sign him because I think he'd be a great fit for Jackson Dart. Am I cutting out again?
No, my Mac did something weird. We're good. It didn't cut anything out.
Sorry, guys. Bryce is on a new laptop right now, so that's why we're.
Yeah, I'm on a Mac, so I'm trying to figure this out. All right. I don't think that Kevin Stefanski. Yes, he should have been fired from Cleveland, but I don't think he was at fault as a lot of people think he was. He was against Deshaun Watson coming to Cleveland in the first place. And now we're seeing he's right. But he was against a lot of the moves the Browns have made. So they failed Kevin Stefanski. And he in 2025, Kevin Stefanski failed the Browns, but for pretty much majority of Kevin Stefanski's tenure,
No, I
the
agree.
Browns failed Kevin Stefanski.
I think his two biggest mistakes was first running Baker out of town and second holding off on Shador for as long as he did.
I'm pretty sure he wanted to keep Baker in
No,
the
he was part of
Browns front
running
office.
him and Odell pretty much ran Baker out of town.
Right. Next, we have Pete Carroll getting fired after 1 year and a 3-14 record.
Pete
Was
Carroll,
this too early.
No. Pete Carroll is a guy who coaches like it's still 2015, 2016. The NFL is adapted. The NFL's changed. Pete Carroll just needs to retire. Let him be an analyst or let him just retire and enjoy the rest of his days. I don't think he should have come back at all. I understand the Raiders have been known for making big moves and getting big names, but he just wasn't the guy. I would have preferred them to get a younger head coach. I really thought they should have thrown themselves in the Ben Johnson sweepstakes. But the fact that they didn't even reach out kind of surprises me. They seemed like they were dead set on listening to Tom Brady and getting Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly. So, they lost out and now they're going to go into a really bad rebuild. The only good thing is they're probably going to get Fernando Mendoza.
They won't. They're going to get Fernando Mendoza with pick one. It's going to happen. But I think it might have been too early. It was way too early, I think, to fire him because the Raiders are the Raiders. They're terrible. And you don't even give him a chance to rebuild this team at all. You don't. The Chip Kelly move, bring him in was a mistake in the first place.
Well, that was a Brady move.
But they clearly moved on from that. And then the offense after Chip Kelly left was starting to look better. It was. They have no offensive line. They have no real receiver one. So Ashton Genty is screwed. Geno Smith were screwed from the start because there was no offensive line and no receiver to throw to. And Brock Bowers was hurt most of the year. So and that defense has always been atrocious. They're probably going to lose Max Crosby in the offseason. Like, what in the world were the Raiders thinking with firing him after giving him zero chance to succeed in the first place?
I don't know. To me, it makes sense, but I think he should have never been hired in the first place.
That's fair. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals firing Jonathan Gannon after 3 seasons and a 15-36 record. What is your big takeaway from this firing?
I think he should have been fired last season. I think Jonathan Gannon proved he was never that good of a coach. It's ironic, they got rid of Cliff Kingsbury because they felt they needed to go to a different route. And this guy was even worse than Kingsbury, like by far. And now Kingsbury's looking as a head coaching candidate. So I think he was just a bad hire. Obviously he was a former Colt, right?
No, he was the Eagles DC when they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs.
You come from pretty much a super team and you look like you're an animal. I just, I never really should never.
Yeah, he was their DC when they went to the Super Bowl. And
he was a hiring that should have never happened.
Yeah,
but we're seeing how the Eagles made him, and he didn't make the Eagles. The Eagles defense is still outstanding, even after he was gone. Now, of course, they brought in a fantastic defensive coordinator once he left, but it's just proved Jonathan Gannon should stay as a coordinator.
I agree 100%. Although I do think that he was screwed from the start when Kyler Murray really has shown zero signs of improvement. In fact, under Jonathan Gannon, he has regressed big time to a quarterback who may not be a starter in 2026.
If anyone's trading for him, they're going to start him. It's
only because he makes too much money to bench. It's going to be a Deshaun Watson situation. They're not going to bench him. Like, Deshaun Watson may end up being the starter in 2026 for the Cleveland Browns only because the fact that he makes so much money. So much. But next, we have one that you and I disagreed with. You and I disagreed on this. That's what I meant to say. The Falcons fired head coach Raheem Morris after 2 seasons and a 16-8 record, and they also fired GM Terry Fontenot. What are your takeaways from this after our conversation yesterday?
I still don't have a problem with them firing him. I don't think he was a bad coach per se. I just think he was not the right coach for the Falcons. If you look at this team, they are such a fantastic offense that they need an offensive mind. This defense is good enough to just do its thing no matter what. But this offense needs guidance because there's so many young players on it versus the defense that has a lot of good veterans. Jesse Bates is out there. A lot of guys who will anchor this defense by themselves. So I don't have a problem with Raheem Morris, but I think they needed a more offensive-minded head coach to really unlock this team's potential.
That's true. You look at the offensive piece they have in Kyle Pitts, who may not be there next year, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Darnell Mooney regressed in year 2 with the Falcons. Who did you say?
Michael Penix,
who has a lot of question marks.
Even Tyler Algier.
3, Tyler Algier is good. Their receiving core is not that terrible. Their offensive line is good. even if they keep Kirk Cousins, which we're going to get to Kirk Cousins later because there was some Kirk Cousins news after I wrote this. What a shocker. All the stuff happens after I write my initial notes. But I don't think, I still don't think that it was the right move. You saw them the last 4 weeks of the season go on a 4-game winning streak and finish 8-9 after starting 4-9, and they had all these questions. And then Kirk Cousins started to play better. Kyle Pitts had that Hall of Fame quality game that we've been waiting for out of Kyle Pitts. We finally had the Kyle Pitts game that we've all been waiting for. But this team under Raheem Morris last month of the season looked really good. And the fact that they just said, nah, you're good.
But you can't keep a coach because of 1 month.
But we saw clear signs of improvement the last month of the season that we hadn't seen for the first, 34 games of his, or 30 games of his career with the Rams, because he was the head coach. He was head coach somewhere else before. But yeah, no. Next we have Cowboys fired defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus after 1 season. What is your takeaway from this? Was this the right move?
Yes. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Yes. Terrible coach.
Yeah.
Terrible
if Matt Eberflus gets a job again, anywhere, a coaching job anywhere, it would be the stupidest coaching move that anybody has ever made in sports history.
Even
correction. Adam Gase might be the only option that would be worse to bring back to the coaching ranks,
or maybe
other than Matt Eberflus.
Maybe Urban Meyer.
I mean, no, Urban Meyer he's a college legend. He's one of the 5 greatest college coaches of all time. So
NFL?
No. Yeah. I'm talking football, like actual gridiron football in general. Okay, next we have Washington Commanders fire offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury and defensive coordinator Joe Witt after 2 seasons. Although I'm hearing that Cliff Kingsbury and the Commanders mutually parted ways because he wants to pursue other opportunities, other ventures. What that means, nobody knows. But
I mean, it's a lateral move, in my opinion. Your entire team was injured to hell this year. I think firing the coordinators makes no sense. You can't fire Dan Quinn. It's not his fault.
Yeah,
so I think it was a lateral move. They're probably going to bring in some people who won't do much better, won't do much worse.
I mean, it doesn't matter how this roster. It doesn't matter who the OC and DC are if this roster is built still the same with all these defensive issues, with the aging roster that they have, with no replacements to back up the old injured guys that they had. Their receiving core is still not great outside of Terry McLaurin. Traylon Burks was a bright spot.
Debo Samuel was pretty good.
Debo Samuel was pretty good. Their 1, 2, and 3 were not the problem. The problem is most of them outside of Debo Samuel was not healthy. And if Debo Samuel's good, but if he's your receiver 1 in 2025, there's a problem. There's a problem. Yeah, not 2026. But he shouldn't. They should keep this receiving core. This offense, really. Offensive line could get better, but most of the running game could get a million times better. Tight end could get better, but you don't really need to make that many changes this offseason with their offense. It's their defense that needs a lot of.
Their defense is old.
There?
I think you're frozen on my end.
You're there?
You're frozen. Hello? Weird.
Can't see you.
Can you see me now?
I can't see you. There you go.
My VPN turned on for some reason.
That's so weird. That's so weird. Gotta love technical issues.
And my VPN randomly turns on. I don't know why.
That's so weird.
It locks off things.
But what were you saying about the Commanders?
Their defense is old. Very old.
Yeah.
All right, we have to kind of speed run because we have about 14 minutes left of this recording time.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I need a mouse. I need a mouse.
We might have to skip the notable games because there really aren't many notable games.
Yeah, I found less and less notable games this week. So we're gonna. we're going to talk. Yeah, there were 4 notable games, but we're going to talk a notable record because Myles Garrett breaks the single season sack record by getting his 23rd sack of the season against Joe Burrow in Week 18. What are your takeaways from this?
I mean, it was only a matter of time, but he kind of looked like Burrow took a dive.
That's what everybody's saying. I
It
don't think
looks
so.
like
I
he
watched it.
didn't, but it did look like it.
You know what it is? It's Steelers fans trying to discredit him.
I'm not a Steelers fan.
TJ Watt.
I am not Steelers. Now, Myles Garrett did it in over 100 less snaps. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I think congratulations to Myles Garrett. The guy, it was a matter of time before it happened. To be honest,
it was a dumpster fire season for the Cleveland Browns. Unless your name is Myles Garrett.
And Shador was pretty good.
Yeah, Shador was pretty good. The running game was pretty good.
Harold Fannin looks like he might.
Harold Fannin was pretty good.
The defense overall was great.
Ironically, the Browns' future is surprisingly bright.
Yeah, but it looks like they're
wild to say.
In the draft.
Okay, so let's talk about Carolina versus Tampa Bay. What are your takeaways from this?
Those refs need to be investigated.
Yep. And I texted you yesterday when the media was talking about how the media wanted Tampa Bay to win and to make the playoffs so badly because I am seeing so many people saying that the Panthers are flawed and how they can't win in the clutch, although Bryce Young over the last 3 seasons has more game-winning drives than any other quarterback in the league. And they can't win with his arm. Guess what? They beat the Rams with Bryce Young's arm this year. They beat the Falcons with Bryce Young's arm this year. They went to Green Bay and beat the Packers this year. I don't want to hear how they can't. I don't want to hear how they can't win in tough situations because they've done it at least 3 or 4 times this year. I don't want to hear it. I don't. I really don't. And I was going to wear something Tampa. I was going to wear this beanie, or something Carolina. I was going to wear this beanie, but it's hot. You know what? I'm going to wear it the rest of the time. So, what are your takeaways from the media hating on Carolina?
I mean, the media, it's kind of funny because, like, not even the media, it's just NFL fans in general. All they're posting about right now is how Bryce Young pulled a Cam Newton and didn't dive on the ball. You know what? They're gonna hate. I hate saying this, but like, the only way to shut them up is by Carolina winning in decisive fashion.
Yep, and by beating the Rams
again.
I would do that twice this year, by the way, twice. Okay, now we're going to move on to New Orleans versus Atlanta because thank you, Atlanta. Thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Atlanta. There was nothing real that I wanted to say other than thank you, Atlanta. The only time I'll ever thank the Falcons in my life. What are your takeaways?
I mean, Tyler Shuck came down to earth. He had a rookie game.
He still looked really good.
He got outplayed by a veteran quarterback, and that's kind of all that happened. But nothing crazy. I think it was kind of to be expected. The Falcons are a much better team than their record showed.
And now we have the game that is a lot of talking points for people this week because we have Baltimore versus Pittsburgh, in which the winner got in, winning their division, and the loser missed the playoffs. What are your takeaways from this game?
So, going into this, we talked about this. I believe I picked Pittsburgh. And the reason I picked Pittsburgh is because this is Aaron Rodgers, most likely Aaron Rodgers last season. He was not going to go out on a final loss that ended it off. He was not going to go 4 straight seasons missing the playoffs. So Aaron Rodgers, first off, maybe not statistically his best year, but overall, you watch him, he can still play. This was a back and forth. This was in my opinion, one of the best games I've ever watched. Sloppy in the first half, but man, that second half was crazy.
And I think what got the final straw for what got John Harbaugh fired was the fact that they ran the ball 5 times in the second half with Derrick Henry after Derrick Henry pretty much put his foot on the Steelers' throats and just would not let up in the first half. And then they ran the ball 5 times in the second half. Made zero sense whatsoever.
Very interesting seeing that they were up going into the second half. If you want
which
to,
that would be the time to run the ball when you're
you
up.
you know, I think of course it's like, hey, that's a dumb move for a coach who's been coaching the team for 17 years. Um, we're not in the huddle. We don't know what's going on. I think this Ravens team, sadly, this was probably their best chance. In
It
my
was,
opinion, there's no Kansas City, there's no Cincinnati, there would have been no Pittsburgh. Your only team you have to really go through is Buffalo.
and they beat
So,
Buffalo
and
in
they've
the
already
playoffs
they've
in the
already
past.
taken out Buffalo before. This was Derrick Henry's best chance. Him and Lamar Jackson put that on their backs. Lamar in the second half, him and Zay Flowers, man, connected multiple times. So
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking for the Ravens because really I do think this was their year. It would have come down to them versus Buffalo in the AFC Championship, in my opinion, or at
Mhm.
least at some point. I don't know if they could have statistically made it to the AFC Championship because they're both low
We
seeds,
would have seen them. We
but they
would
would
have
have faced off,
seen
and I
them.
think the winner of that would have went to the Super Bowl and probably won the Super Bowl. But no, you got to feel. I'm such a big Lamar Jackson fan. I think you've
Yeah.
known this for a while. I living near Baltimore, I hear all the hate against him. The guy's a freaking amazing quarterback. No one, I don't want to hear a single person say quarterbacky. That man can throw the ball like Dan Marino. So I don't want to hear a word said. He has an outstanding arm. So I
He really
feel for
does.
Lamar. Like, yeah, he was injured for most of the year. Honestly, if you look at Lamar, if he doesn't get injured, they're probably a 13-win team.
They walk away with that division if Lamar plays the
If
whole year.
Lamar plays all year, they are a 13-win team for sure.
They go at least 12 or 13 wins with no defense.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
And Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar went it. Before Lamar went down, he was playing out of his mind
He was. Yeah. And then he kind of struggled and then
because
he
he
got
came
hurt
back from a
again.
really
Yeah.
serious injury, a very serious
And then he got
quarterback
hurt
injury.
again and then he looked really good on Sunday night.
For a
But
mobile
it didn't
guy, when
matter.
you go on
Yeah.
go down with that injury and you come back as fast as you can, you're going
Yeah.
to lose some of that step. A lot of
Yep.
people realize how much weight you use your legs for to throw a football.
And it's a lot of people that don't really know what they're talking about
People
for
who've never
sports,
played
anyways.
football or
Yeah.
just watch and look for numbers. Look for the same people who say Joe Burrow had a bad season.
Yeah. And I just want to say one thing before we move on to the record or the game predictions. Why are we still giving Skip Bayless a platform in 2025? I don't know if you
26.
saw what he
We're in
said.
2026.
Yeah, 2026. I don't know why we are still giving him a platform in 2026. I don't know if you saw what he said when after Tyler Loop missed the field goal.
I
He
try to stay away
posted
from
on
runs.
X. He posted on X. Why are we letting non-football players decide the game, the end of the game in 2026 in the NFL, in football games? He got jumped all
Does he
over for
realize
that.
how? So here's the thing. There's a very common question in the football community. Would you rather have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes or a kicker who can guaranteed hit from 65?
I'm taking the
Every time.
kicker.
You take the kicker. And everyone
Mm-hmm.
would say that because if you can get past midfield, you hit
Well, any
every
real football fan,
any
casual.
real
Give me
football fan
Patrick
would
Mahomes.
recognize
Give me
if you
Patrick
can
Mahomes.
have Gardner Minshew as your quarterback, and if you have that kicker, you're probably winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we need to at least skip Bayless in January. Leave him
December
in this week.
2025.
Leave him in this week.
Yeah.
Sadly, he came into 2026. He snuck in. Leave him in this week. Whoever's guarding the gates, leave him out.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the wild card predictions. But first, we're going to talk about week 18 records because you and I both went 9-7.
That was really
Meaning
sweet.
our record at the end of the season, mine was 165, 79, and 1. Yours was 139, 115, and 1. You
I
really
assume
rebounded there.
I did. Are we going to start the records over for the playoffs?
We are. We are. But
Right.
they're going to count as double. They are going to count as double.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Double it up.
So we're going to start with Saturday NFL playoffs because we have the Los Angeles Rams and the home team Carolina Panthers. Who do you have winning?
So this was my hardest game I had to pick this week. We watched how the Panthers took down the Rams in Los Angeles last time, and now LA, who has been
No, they took them in Carolina.
oh,
They
sorry,
played
go
in
ahead.
Charlotte.
Well,
They played in
LA
Charlotte
is
last time.
slumping heavily. They've lost multiple games they should have won. So I still am picking the Rams here, but man, it's a close matchup. I think Matt Stafford has a lot to play for. I think we're going to see him pull off some crazy plays, but do not be surprised if Bryce Young balls out in his playoff debut. Guys, this might have been the most obvious think Bryce does this whole game.
27-24. All right. Next, we're going to have Green Bay versus Chicago, and I think you and I both have the same, the same
Another
winner here.
really, really hard game to pick. As a Packers fan, this game makes me nervous. I was talking about this with my coworkers today. I'm going Green Bay just for the fact that they're more experienced in the playoffs, but this is going to come down to a game winner.
I think Green Bay wins 24-20. I think they do.
Please
Next, we have Buffalo versus Jacksonville. Who do you have winning?
I have Buffalo winning this. Once again, another experience thing. Sean McDermott and Josh Allen have a lot of experience in the playoffs versus Trevor Lawrence having one playoff game and Liam Cohen being a first-time head coach. Sorry, two playoff games, and Liam Cohen being a first-time head coach in the playoffs. I'm going to go with my eventual Super Bowl champions in the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going to go with the Bills as well, 27-20. Next, we have San Francisco versus Philadelphia.
So this
Who do you have
game,
winning?
in my opinion, it's going to be a much bigger blowout than anyone expects. I have Philly handling business here. I think Philly is a dangerous team, especially in the playoffs. Jalen Hurts is figuring it out. A.J. Brown is coming to life. I think Philly handles business against San Francisco and just wipes the floor with them.
You think this game is going to be a blowout?
I do. I'm going Philly
No,
by
I
at
don't
least
think
2
that.
touchdowns.
I think that it's going to be close, but I do think Philadelphia wins.
Oh, you're frozen again. No,
You were frozen. Next, we have the Chargers versus the Patriots.
So this one, I am going for another upset. I'm taking the Chargers here just because we've watched how the Patriots kind of implode against bad teams. They're one of the 3 losses that one of the 3 wins the Raiders have this year.
Is against the Patriots, week 1. Yeah.
The Bills took them down. Of course, the Bills are a good team. I really think this Harbaugh-led Chargers team is ready for a move, and I think this is the year where they go over the hump and they take out a juggernaut in the Patriots.
I think we could realistically see a Chargers-Bills AFC Championship. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I think the Chargers win 23-17.
I think Philip Rivers will get to watch his team finally dethrone the Patriots when it matters the most.
It would bring every Patriots hater great joy. This Patriots hater for sure. And now we have the final game of the wild card round of the playoffs, in which the Houston Texans go to Pittsburgh to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who do you have winning on Monday Night Football next week?
As much as I love my former quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, I think this is the end of the road. I think the Texans do handle business. Their defense swallows them whole, and the Texans win this game.
Now, C.J. Stroud has never lost in the wild card round, ever, until Monday.
Oh, my gosh.
He's going to lose, and Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to move on to the divisional round. See ya, AFC South. If you're not the Colts, you don't belong.
The Colts didn't even make it.
I know. So then nobody belongs. Yep. Alrighty, that's going to do it for the week 18 of the Two Bros podcast playoff edition, because we talk playoffs, coach firings, everything post week 18 and week 18. But if you guys liked it, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. And there were a lot of technical difficulties with the podcast this week. I'm dealing with a new computer for recording, and then there was a VPN issue. We'll get those fixed.
We will have them handled.
Yes. But anyways, if you like to, always, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. What do you have to say?
Keep an eye out for a potential Super Bowl live stream.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be figuring out the technical side of it. Hopefully no difficulties.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for a potential Super Bowl live stream.
Actually, the live stream is where technical difficulties would usually happen. But that's all I should
try our best to handle those.
Yes. But anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.